So to finalize this, I'm going to just put in my garage door. So I'm going to hide that. And this is kind of pretty much just what we did at the beginning of this model for this week, is just use some guides to find that door. Unhide that. Now I'm going to click into place with my guides and bring this up, and we'll bring it up about, let's go 8 feet. We'll double click to open this up, make a rectangle, and close. Now we can push pull this closed, and we're good to go. Alright. The last thing I'm going to do is I'm going to put in some materials here. And I'm not going to do anything that's that exciting or fancy. I'm just going to to start, I'm going to use what we have in our model. So I want to do something separate and specific in the dining room. And I want to use that same exact shape that we have up in the soffit. So I'm going to mirror that just by using my offset tool down below on this. I'm going to type in 12, enter. So now I've got two separate faces with which I can work. So what I want to do is I want to find some wood, and I'm going to use the standard wood pattern, and I'm just going to apply that to the floor. Now I'm going to go back into my home palette, and I'm going to edit that because I'm not in love with exactly the way it looks here. So I'm going to go down to edit, and I'm going to edit the color first. So I'm going to make it a little darker, and then I'm going to take out a little bit of the saturation by going to my HSB sliders, and I'm going to drag that saturation down just a little bit so it's a little darker. Okay, so I've created a little material on the inside there. Now I'm going to go around the edges of this room. So I'm going to just divide up these little corners here so that I can, let's find something else. Let's look in tile and see if there's anything worth checking out there. So now I'm just going to go around and I'm going to place this border. I know it doesn't quite go with what I'm doing here, but just for the sake of demonstration, position this by rotating it 90 degrees. I'm going to scale it down a little bit. I'm just doing this kind of by eye. There we go. And I'll say done. And now I'm going to sample that same tile on the all four, but in this case I need to texture, position, and I need to right click again and rotate 90 degrees. Pull that into place. Say done. Whoops, looks like I need to rotate that. Oh no, maybe I just need to move it up here. So I'm going to texture, position again, and I'm just going to move it up so that it's in line with that other one. Okay, so I can say done. So I've at least got that lined up. This needs to be texture, position, rotated 180, so it's flipped. I'll make sure that it's lined up there. That's good, done. And I'll do the same thing on this last one, texture, position, and let's see, rotate. Let's try 270 and see what that does. Perfect, so I'm going to line that up with that. Click done to close that. And I've given myself a little border around the edge of this. I'm also not happy with the way this looks, so I'm going to go into my home palette, and I'm going to select that texture, and I'm going to edit it. And first thing I'll do is I'm just going to make it a little lighter, and the second thing I'm going to do is I'm going to take almost all the saturation out. And now that I've seen it with all the saturation out, I want to make it a little darker. So let's take it all the way to gray. And done. And then I can close when I'm done. So I've just added a texture into that floor. I'm not going to do this. I'm not going to bore you by doing every single space that's the same way. But what I'd like you to do is I'd like you to add textures to 3 of these spaces. I would say skip this if you want to for the time being. I'm going to show you how you can carve this out if you really wanted to add a texture to just that oval space. But I would stick to the rooms that are rectilinear and that you can control. If you want the texture to stretch beyond the elements of that one room, you can, I'll show you how to do that. And I'm actually noticing before I do that, I'm noticing that I need to move this up into space. I never did that, so Move that up and put it where it belongs. So let's say I wanted to have my texture go all the way from, I want it to be the kitchen, the nook, the family, and this little foyer here, and I want my texture break to be right there. So we're going to go from maybe one stone to another in this room. So I'll open that up. I'm going to do a line from this corner to that corner and along the whole perimeter of that room, or that open space. So I'm carving out just the space I want to apply that texture to. And I'm going to skip over this, no, I'm not. Forget that. So I'm going to go from corner to corner to corner. I'm even going to go under this. Well, no, I won't. Again, forget I said that. So I'm going to go actually to the outside of this thing so that I can just put my countertop right on top of that. And back to that point. Now I can take my textures and let's find something else. I'm going to go with another tile here. Now I'm going to pull out this tile and I'm going to make it, no, let's go with this one. So I can apply that tile. It's way too small. So I'm going to right click and I'm going to do texture position. And I'm going to stretch that up. Done. Okay? So what I would like you to do, and this is basically going to complete the absolute bare bones minimum of what you need to do to complete the model, is I'd like you to apply textures to at least 3 of the floors and edit them and manipulate them in some way. They don't have to be textures from SketchUp. If you want to use your own, I highly recommend that, but you don't have to use textures outside of SketchUp. They can be textures within the program already. But I'd like to see that you can get to at least this point where the walls are built up, the doors are push-pulled away, the windows are push-pulled away, and you've got textures going on 3 floors, and then the stairs are built. I'm not going to stop with new information for the week. I'm going to continue to build on this model, but I want you to know that this is the end point of what you need to do in order to finish Model 3. So you are welcome to turn this in at any point from now until the end of the course. You're also welcome to add to this. Do not feel like you have to stop at this point. I mean, the goal of this class is for you to learn how to do as much as you can. So if you'd like to attempt the things that I'm going to continue to do with this model, by all means, I welcome that. But don't be overwhelmed by them, because I'm going to do some things that are a little bit more advanced, and I don't expect everyone to master these techniques all in one 6-week course. So all that's due is pretty much what you see here with the addition of one more texture.